when you don't have a system in place for how you're going to operate, it leaves room for errors and mistakes. This is the most essential part of the boating process. Without that, you're going to sink when you're already floating in the water. That's like the worst thing you can do. I'm going to show you how to launch the boat by yourself and if you have a partner. I'm as close to the ramp as possible because I'm going to make a turn. But personally, I really just like to look back and see where it is that I'm going. Or you can use your mirrors. I'm going to show you both. If it's very steep, the boat will roll off the actual trailer. So now I'm going to show you how I do this by myself. You want to have your hands on the bottom of the steering wheel. If you want the trailer to go left, you want to turn the wheel this way. If you want the trailer to go right, you're going to use your right hand to turn this way. I actually even want to maybe pull up just a little bit more. I want the tops of those bunks showing. My wheels are not in the water. The closer you get to the water, the more dangerous it is. I'm going to slowly give it some gas, and I'm going to slowly let go of the brake. Real slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. If you ever had any trouble at the boat ramp, or if you're new to boating and just not sure how this stuff works, or if you're a beginner, this is a video you're going to want to watch. So when you guys come into the boat ramp, usually you'll find a staging area like this. Okay. This area here is a vessel staging area. This is where all the boats get ready before launching at the actual boat ramp. What I have created is I created a system, and as you should as well. When you don't have a system in place for how you're going to operate, it leaves room for errors and mistakes, and for you forgetting things like the plug and things like that. I'm going to have a list or a checklist that you guys can download off my site. I'm going to leave the link in the description below for you guys, but I'm going to walk through all of the process from staging area to prepping your boat for the launch, to how to trailer your boat and how to maneuver the boat with the truck, and how to launch it and retrieve it. So let's get started. The very first thing I do when I get out of my truck is I come back here towards the transom and I put the plug in. All right, this is the most essential part of the boating process. Without that, you're gonna sink. So that's the first thing that I like to do. We're going to take the straps off of the boat. Come over on this side. And I'm gonna grab these straps and I'm gonna put them in the bed of my truck. All right, so now we know we got the plug in, the strap is off of the boat. I like to come over here and turn on the battery power. Okay, turn my battery power on and I know that's ready to go. Okay, and I can check that with my trim. Okay, and I'm gonna leave the trim up just like this before launching. And really we should do this at home. We want to check and see if our motor is working, right? And we don't have a dead battery. Or we know that we have juice on our battery, so we're not going to have a dead battery when we get down to the ramp. You don't want to discover a dead battery when you're already floating in the water. That's like the worst thing you can do. It's just a huge mood killer. Everybody's ready and then you have a bad battery. For that, you carry one of those battery chargers as well. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to load our boat with all of the supplies that we're going to use for the day, right? That's your coolers with all your ice, everybody's gear, everybody's stuff. You don't want to do that while you're at the actual boat ramp, taking up time, taking up space. It's not good ramp etiquette. So you want to load everything here in the staging area. So your cooler is going to go in, it's your fishing rods, your gear. You want that inside the boat before you get over to the boat ramp. I'm going to get my dock lines ready. I like to drive by the ramp like I just did, and I like to see which way the wind is blowing, because I don't want to launch the boat to where the wind is pushing the boat away from the dock. I like where the boat is being pushed into the dock. That way you're not trying to chase the boat and it's not pulling it away from you. It's a southeasterly wind, so it's pushing the boat on the dock, which is going to be on its starboard side. I'm going to leave my bow line just hanging off just like this. I'm going to leave the stern line hanging off just like this. As far as the lines go, you want to have at least 15 foot of line. If the boat is bigger, like this is a really small boat, so if you're looking at a 30-foot boat, you want even longer lines. Okay, so these lines are pretty long. I believe they're about 15 foot long. I like to keep this strap in until we get to the ramp. Okay, you don't want to take this off until you're actually heading down the ramp, and I'll explain to you as we get there now. Battery's good, dock lines, the boat is loaded up with all our gear, all of your licenses and registrations and all of those things. We have all that ready to go. Now also, I'm going to show you how to launch the boat by yourself and if you have a partner. Now at this point, I like to tell whoever is going to be on the boat to head to the ramp number that I choose, right? Or that you're assigned to. Sometimes like this particular boat ramp, if it's a really busy day, you'll have park officials will assign you a ramp. But if you can choose, let the people that you're with know to meet you at that boat ramp. So let's head over there. Now, like I mentioned earlier, I want the ramp to land on the starboard side of the boat because the wind, as you can see, is pushing the boats into the ramp. The boat will be pushed on its starboard side. I'm gonna have my dad, who's with me, to get out and meet me at the ramp. He's gonna be over there waiting. At this point, I like to put all the windows down, so that way if I have to yell anything out, my dad or whoever I'm with can hear me. And if you can see here, I'm as close to the ramp as possible because I'm gonna make a turn, okay? I'm going to that ramp right over there. And you also want to take note of the tide. It's low tide, so I'm gonna have to get pretty low in there, check to see if there's seaweed like there is there. Right now, look how close I am to the ramp. I'm gonna start turning and I'm gonna get straight, and I'm gonna try to get this trailer as straight as possible. Now, backing down the trailer can be a little tricky, and there's a couple ways to do it. All right, you can use your mirrors. I'm going to show you both, but personally I really just like to look back, turn this way, and see where it is that I'm going. Okay, I find that easier. Or you can use your mirrors. I personally like to turn around and do it this way. All right, so now I know I'm not lined up straight with the actual ramp, but what I'm doing is I'm gonna turn. All right, I need to go this way, so I'm gonna turn my wheel this way. All right, so I'm gonna reverse and we're gonna head backwards. The smaller the trailer, the harder it is, because little movements make really big changes. I want to get as close as I can to the side. Okay. So now that I'm pretty far down the ramp, I'm going to stop. I'm going to put the boat in park, and I'm going to put my emergency brake. All right. Because we have to let go of the winch. So let's go do that. See, I'm already a little bit down the ramp. All right. I could go a little bit farther down. If you have a roller trailer, you have to be very careful, because if it's very steep, the boat will roll off the actual trailer. So you want to take this winch strap off at the last minute. All right. So let's go ahead and take that off. All right. Now remember, I left these straps out here for a reason. I'm gonna hand these over to my dad so you can grab them, and that way he'll be able to grab onto the ropes and pull the boat off the trailer, right? All right, so as you can see, the wind is pushing the boat off over this way, and this is where really you want to go as far down for this particular trailer, as far down as you can. Be very, very careful while you're on here. The ramps are very, very slippery. It's so slippery. So now I'm going to show you how I do this by myself. So what I've done is I've left the strap in, okay, and I've pushed the boat as far back as I needed to, okay. But what you can see is I have the bow line here. Again, be careful because it's very slippery. All right, I have the bow line here that I can grab onto, and I'm going to come here to my winch. So I'll let this go, and I'm going to disconnect it. I know that I'm deep enough where if I push this boat, it's going to come off. So let me get this. Let me get two hands on this. Remember, I told you needed long lines, right? And plus, we needed that wind to help us push the boat into the dock. So I pushed the boat off. Now I'm going to come over here. It's recording. myself. If you had a cleat midship, this will be a good time to tie it up to the midship cleat. Okay, now the trailer is ready where you can pull the boat off and go park it. So now when you're at this point, what you want to do is, if you're by yourself, you want to push this boat, grab the other line, and you want to push this boat to the end of the dock, giving a chance to whoever's coming in to be able to launch their boat as well. Or you can have somebody that you're with do it for you while you park your truck. Okay, so we're going to move this back and get out of the way, and then you can clear the area so you can take your truck and park it. All right, this will be a good time to pay for parking. So now we come back to the marina and it's time to retrieve your boat from the ramp. What I'm going to do is place my boat, giving us enough space for the actual trailer to come back down. All right, and again, when you're coming in, you want to pick the side where the wind is pushing the boat towards the dock. We've already tied up the boat. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the truck, and I'm going to back it up into the ramp. So let's go do that. Guys, I want to thank today's sponsor that made this video possible, Reliable Marine, the #1 Suzuki dealer in 2024 and 2025 for repower. They're the ones that did this motor on my Zebra Skiff, 90 horsepower, and my 250 on my Grady White. Without them, this video wouldn't be possible. So I appreciate you guys. Check them out. I'm going to put their information down below so you guys can see them, and all the other Suzuki motors that are available. They got great specials going on for the month of February. Suzuki always has great deals going on, so check them out. All right, so we successfully launched our boat. Now we're gonna retrieve our boat. Now I showed you how to back the trailer up looking backwards. I'm gonna show you how to do it using the mirrors, okay? So you should get used to doing it with the mirrors, because sometimes you don't have the best visibility looking out the back of the truck. So get used to doing it with the mirrors. Go to an empty parking lot and practice, and get your reps in. That's really what's going to get you better. We're coming back at the ramp again. We're checking that we placed the boat at the right side because the wind is coming in this way. We want to come as close to the ramp as possible, and we want to turn left. There's the boat over there. All right, want to turn left this way, and we want to get the trailer straight. You don't want to be turning the trailer when there's a turn in it. So now, as you can see, I have the trailer straight. Can't really see it on this side. You can see it a little bit on this side, and I'm going to hit reverse. The trick to this is you want to have your hands on the bottom of the steering wheel. If you want the trailer to go left, you want to turn the wheel this way. If you want the trailer to go right, you're going to use your right hand to turn this way. So we're going to go backwards, make sure nobody's coming, and we want the trailer to go a little bit left, so we're going to go left. Now it's too much, we're going to go back the other way. This is a little difficult doing it while I'm filming, but again, you want to get a few feet as close to the ramp as possible, and you want to take your time and go slow. Now we're going a little bit this way. We want to go back the other way, and if you need to reset, just go straight like I need to reset right now. Just go straight, back up, go straight forward, try to get that trailer straight. And now you can see that I lined it up pretty straight with the ramp. So now we can go straight back, and we don't really have to move that much, right? You could always reset, take your time. You don't want to rush. This could get nerve-wracking on the weekends, but that's all right. Just take your time. Small increments. See, going straight back. Check, you could always stop and check. Straighten out a little bit. There we go. Straight. I want it to go left a little bit, so I'm going to shimmy over to the left. And now it's straight on. Now this is where it can get tricky. And you guys need to be really paying attention to the tides. When it's low, the ramp could get really slippery, okay? So this you want to do nice and slow. Slow is fast, okay? And I'm going to show you how far or how deep you want to put that trailer in, all right? Again, put yourself in park. Do not let go of the brake. Put that e-brake all the way up, and then slowly let go of the brake and watch what it does. You don't want it to start sliding, okay? That's why I put that e-brake. All right, let's go out there and check real quick. Okay, so I know that we have to move the boat back a little bit. The tips of the bunks are sticking out. Every trailer is going to be a little bit different. I actually even want to maybe pull up just a little bit more. I want the tops of those bunks showing. Again, same thing. I have the brake on. I have both feet on there. I'm slowly just coming up, giving it more gas and letting go of the brake slowly. And I want to come up just a little bit. Not letting go of the brake. Emergency brake, and we're good. Slowly let go of the brakes, and we're good. So this is a very slippery ramp here at Matheson. I'm going to step up here on the actual trailer. If you're by yourself, you really just want to use the bow line. And if you're with somebody else, they can shimmy the boat over using both dock lines. But this boat is so small, we're just going to use the bow line. Alright, so now that I got the boat kind of centered, I want to bring it up, push that bow off. And it should slide right on the bunks. It should. Once I have it here, I can grab my winch. Again, be very careful. This will be a really good time to lift the motor all the way up. You want to trim the motor all the way up because you don't want to drag the skeg as you're pulling the boat out of the water. That's pretty easy. Now, I'm making sure that we're aligned and the boat is pretty level from here. And the bunks do a really good job of keeping the hole where it's supposed to be. But you might have to adjust. But this looks pretty straight. Now at this point, whoever's helping you, if you have some help, they can push the boat off. It's really low tide, so it's really hard to push off. You would have to use your feet. But when it's high tide, you can kind of maneuver the boat over and kind of shimmy it onto where it needs to be. Okay, so that's set up. Our winch is set up. If there's a safety chain on the winch, this is where you would attach it at this point when you're pulling out, because sometimes those winches will break and your bow will come rising up. This is ready to be pulled out. Another option that you might have is powering up your boat onto the trailer. Some ramps allow it, some ramps don't. Some trailers and some trailer boat setups kind of need you to power on. You really don't want to be doing that. It could be dangerous, but it depends on the actual setup that you have. You might need to, but that's where somebody is on the boat and they're actually powering up onto the ramp, and you might even see that trying to help the truck pull the actual boat out of the water. If you notice, my wheels are not in the water, right? The closer you get to the water, the more dangerous it is for your vehicle to go into the water. Once it hits that algae, that's it. There's got no grip and it's going to go into the water. That's a big problem. So only go as far back as you need to. If you need to get out of your truck and check, do so your truck doesn't go into the water. So let's pull it out. So now the boat is actually hooked up. My foot is on the brake. Emergency brake off. Watch what the truck does. And I'm going to go to drive. Sometimes you might want to go to the lowest gear. Okay, if you have a real heavy boat, you want a lower gear. I'm going to slowly give it some gas. And I'm going to slowly let go of the brake and adjust accordingly, and watch as I roll forward. I don't want to go backward. Real slow. Slow is smooth, and smooth is fast. Now at this point, I'm going to stop because my vehicle is on the pavement. I'm going to put it in park, and I'm going to check how straight my trailer is. Okay, make sure everything's good here. The strap is good. And it's on there straight, which is exactly what I want. Perfect. See, my bunks worked perfectly in putting the boat exactly where I wanted it, which is great, and it's exactly where it needs to be. We've already pulled the boat out of the water, so now we need to get all the stuff out of the actual boat. So we're going to go to the second staging area, which is over here. Okay, now we're going to do things in reverse, right? So this is where you start taking all the stuff out. people that are coming with you, if you want to take off your gear, your fish, and all those things, your ice, whatever it is that you want to take out, this is where you would do it. Okay, and then we're gonna reattach the strap. So as far as this strap goes, I like to put this strap on. There are also straps that go from the actual these tow hooks here to the trailer. You can use those as well. Those are very good, but I use the strap over. If you have both, even better. So that's another option that you can have. Now we're gonna come over here under the plug. No water got in. We're gonna turn our battery off. And then we're just going to do a quick look at the trailer, make sure the tires are good, that there's nothing broken. Before we head out, just a quick look over, making sure that this is nice and tight. If you have a trailer, if you have a chain that will go to the bow eye, this is a good time to connect it. Really, you should connect it while you're pulling the boat out, so that's good. And we're all strapped down and ready to go. You want to toss these lines back in here, make sure nothing's hanging out that can come off of the boat. Guys, don't forget that in the description below, I'm leaving you guys a checklist that you guys can use and download for free. So when you're launching and retrieving your boat, you kind of have a better idea, something visual that you can see. Remember, everybody needs a job. If you're by yourself, you're the one in charge. But if you're with a group of people, you want to be able to give everybody a job to do, whether it's just sitting there and looking pretty or grabbing the dock lines. That way, nobody's confused and everybody knows their role. This is a team effort. All right, guys, so we successfully launched and retrieved our boat. Sure, depending on where you guys live, you guys have different ways of doing it. And I'd love to hear your tips and your tricks and things maybe that I missed on this video. So I want to hear what you guys do, what helps you when you're alone or with your family. So leave those comments down below. So if you guys found this video helpful, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.